Morning, Alan and Irene Tuazon, makers of Saint C. So, for those people watching in the live stream and watching in the replay, we're talking to an awesome product called Saint C. And ngayon lang namin natikman tong Saint C, and we're really curious about the people behind it. In fact, I must to be honest, akala ko because we try a lot of sauces. Sabi ko, ano ba 'to sinsi na 'to? Parang calamansi lang, CocoMansi. So, but when we were trying to uh, paunti-unti kinakain na, ang sarap and it partners with a lot of food. And I realized it's really a world-class Filipino product. So you wanted to know the story behind Saint C. And if you haven't tasted it, watch out on this video, and I'm sure you'll be looking for where to buy the Saint C. All right. Good morning. All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to and thank you for game. Okay, just to start off, para a lot of people would know, ano ba tong Saint C? And maybe you can show the product. How did it all start?
It actually started when I was younger, way back when we were still young. My mother liked to prepare our own calamansi concentrate. So during Sundays, she would go to the market, grab maybe a kilo or two of fresh calamansi fruits, and then when she gets back, she would slice, squeeze, add a bit of sugar, 1:1 ratio, if I remember correctly, and then put it on a container and leave it in the fridge for us to consume anytime we wanted to. So that thing would last for a week. That container would last for a week. We were 5 siblings, and we would share that during the day until the next weekend. My mom would do the same routine again and again, and until I grew up with it. And now my son is already. I do it now with my son.
Yeah, he passed it on to our son. It became a habit. So every day he would look for calamansi, right? And one time, and even when we travel, we would always bring calamansi concentrate, which we made abroad. And one time when we were in Japan, we forgot. And our son kept looking for it. So we ended up looking for calamansi and couldn't find any.
No, we were looking for lemon.
For lemon, something close, yeah.
We ended up trying yuzu in Japan. So when I tried the fruit, the girl from the aisle also asked me, maybe you'd also like to try the bottled yuzu. So I did both. I bought the yuzu fruit and I bought the bottled yuzu. And when we went back to the hotel, I actually tried both. And surprisingly, they actually tasted the same.
Yes, yeah.
There was no sugar on the yuzu bottle.
No difference.
And there was no difference. So my son suddenly said, how come we don't do this in the Philippines? Yeah. So when I checked, when we came back, I checked out the market. Apparently, what's been happening is we have a lot of these calamansi products, but everything has sweeteners, honey, additives.
Not completely pure.
Nobody has ever tried to sell it pure for obvious reasons, kasi they wanted the shelf life to be longer. And sugar or any sweetener is actually a preservative.
Yeah.
But if you wanted a pure one, they all would add, unfortunately, chemicals, additives, just to lengthen the shelf life. And I realized I want something better than that. So that's how we all started. We just started with calamansi.
We became obsessed with the idea of making calamansi. We found it such an underrated fruit. We wanted it something that everyone would like.
We realized how come yuzu is practically a known product abroad, anywhere. Even Chef Jamie Oliver from the UK would even promote yuzu. So how come our product has never landed? Maybe some of the chefs have known it, but not in the level of yuzu. So that was how the idea started. That was where the obsession, the passion started. We wanted calamansi from the Philippines to be as known, or if not even better, than maybe Japanese yuzu. So that's it. That's how it started.
Yeah.
Sorry, bakit Bakit Saintsi pala? Bakit Saintsi?
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us as well.
Yeah, because see, because it all started with the calamansi, you know. But we wanted to call it saint because it's 100% pure goodness. There's nothing artificial about it. It's really good for you. That's why we called it saintsi.
We want, at first we were thinking of a Filipino word, just so we could go back where from what region, they could identify. But then again, we were thinking already ahead. We wanted to go international. So we wanted a name that's easy to remember, and it's English, and that's why we just thought of an English word. Some people ask, well, how come it's English? And but we never really explained to them that moving forward, we wanted it across the globe, so it's easier for everyone to understand. And C has a lot of, the letter C has a lot of meaning. There's the vitamin C, then the calamansi, and then we also have that CocoMansi and the coconut vinegar product. So the C just keeps sticking on. So,
maybe can you show the products and then explain all of them?
So this is where we first started the Calamansi. So we wanted a more international feel of a product. So in fact, the bottle, it took me like 2 years
so long
to find out the right product. So this is our first product, Calamansi. It started out as a 150 ml product before. But then when I started looking at other bottles, I found a supplier, and he was a supplier for olive oil. Actually, he's a supplier from olive oil bottles, and I wanted it to be unique. I wanted to have an international feel. So even the capping system, if I'm not mistaken, we're the only ones here in the country who has this capping system. And inside there's a pourer. So when you pour it, it doesn't backflow. It won't flow out. And naman calamansi, di ba? You just lightly tap it, or you don't want. So this is the calamansi that we started with. Now, when I was coming up with the calamansi, somebody suggested.
Question on the calamansi muna.
Okay.
So hindi siya pumapait, no? It's 100% calamansi.
Yes. We don't put any preservatives. When we first tried it, we thought we had to go with what everyone was doing, but then we stopped. Sabi ko, because the taste notes were starting to change. And when I started to realize the difference between a chemically, if there's an additive, the taste notes would change drastically. And the color would also change, the color of the line.
Parang hindi nag-change yung color, no?
Yeah.
At some point, that's also a true test of the freshness. If this changes within next 5 months or 6 months, because of oxidation, it's a true test that we never really put anything. So if you don't refrigerate it, when you buy it and when you open it, the color could change. But actually, the taste notes won't change so much. It's just the color. But otherwise, that's a true test of its freshness.
And anong tawag nito? So ano sikreto? Why is it fresh? And gaano katagal siya magiging fresh pa?
Close to the way we tested it. If the problem is, if we're in the Philippines, the temperature is a bit higher. So when it's higher, it oxidizes faster. If you leave it on the table lang, you don't put it on the fridge. But I've had some products of mine, I just keep it on the fridge, and it lasted.
It really lasts. Yeah.
Close to 6 months, if not more than 6 months. As long as you keep it in the fridge, cool lang siya. So initially, we were targeting countries which are supposedly cold para tumagal siya. Japan, Korea, Canada, even parts of US, parts of Europe. Colder climate countries. We're hoping na sana tumagal to. But eventually, we have to find a technology. Well, actually, I already got the technology. I already read about it. I don't have it. But the technology that requires for it to last even longer than 6 months without altering or putting any additives. I already studied it. Kaya lang it's very costly for now. So, but what we really realize that this thing does not last in your fridge for 6 months. It actually within one or not even longer than 2 months, ubos na to. So they end up buying after. This will
Hindi,
not.
oo nga eh.
Yeah,
It's not the shelf life that I'm concerned.
when they reorder, it's boxes.
It's
and
when
really
they buy
reorder.
it by less than 2 months.
The kids love it now
already,
as
yeah.
juice. Yeah, the grown-ups
Oo.
liquor and alcohol.
They will not. They will not last long than 5 in your. They will
It's
consume.
very flexible nga. Where do you get the calamansi? Or is there a
Okay.
secret in the
At
calamansi
first,
that you use?
at first, we started in Mindoro.
Mindoro.
Oo. But the story goes way back pa nga. In fact, I would have to mention Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat. He actually brought me along to Tarlac and we visited some farms there. So parang from there, she was trying kasi to promote to us, the farmers, that we could help and at the same time offer their produce to the market. So that started it all. But I also met another group from Mindoro, and their calamansi is quite known there. So we started with Mindoro later on, but then after a while there were logistical issues kasi you have to go Roro, you have to take a ship and everything. So during the typhoon season, you can't even cross.
Yeah.
So later on, I went back and I have to again source. Now I'm sourcing from Bulacan, parts of Bulacan, Tarlac. We tried sourcing from Isabela because that's also known for calamansi. But again, logistically, it's just way too far already. So for now, we're considering Bulacan and Tarlac. But hopefully, we could operate also another place in Mindoro where we can still continue. Believe it or not all calamansi are the same.
Yeah.
Oo nga. Ano ba yan? May variety ba ang calamansi?
No, it's the way the terrains are where the plant, the trees are located. And
in wine, they call it the terroir, di ba? So may terroir rin pala ang calamansi.
That's actually very true. So where there are, if the fruits from Mindoro, from Leyte, parts of Visayas, even Cebu, even Davao, for some reason, and Zamboanga, I have to mention Zamboanga. The ones closer to the sea, to the water, and there's so much rain, the taste of the fruit, there's a slight sweetness to it. So maybe it's the amount of water that goes within the plantation. It helps a lot. Unlike the landlocked areas in parts of Bulacan, Tarlac, there's a bit of acidic tartness compared to the slightly sweetness from the Mindoro variety. But either way, it's okay kasi we like it naman, very tarty rin naman eh. So okay lang naman. It's just that the rain contributes to the growth of the plant. So the more if there's more rain in that area, there's more budding, flowering, and thereby more fruits in the end. So yun lagi ang consideration.
But the calamansi, sorry kasi I'm really interested in calamansi. But do you do it single sourced or it's a blend already?
No blending. So if it's coming from Bulacan, Tarlac, then dun lang muna.
Yeah.
For now, we don't blend it like if others are coming from Mindoro or the Visayas.
Single.
Wala, it's just single. Well, yeah, you could say it's almost like coffee. It's actually single origin.
So and do you market it as such or hindi? It's parang generic branding.
No, I thought about it at first kasi just like I'm a big fan of the Japanese way of doing things. But we want it. But right now kasi parang hindi ko pa, if it's not stable yet, that supplier, parang until I get some stability from that supplier, then maybe at some point we will say they're
Consider
single or source from Bulacan, Tarlac, Isabela, or later on Mindoro. Yeah.
Naka-mute.
Anton, I think we are on mute.
Sorry. So, wala tayong mga Calamansi Institute dito? Or where do you get information?
There's even an association there's a group actually. But
You studied on
not,
your own.
not, not that I don't wanna go with them or anything. It's just that I just wanted to do things on my own first, devoid of any influence. The only thing I've gotten as far as
Input.
research is I asked people from UP Los Baños, I asked the DOST, the technology behind all of this. And then later on, I asked people from the industries. In fact, I jumped from one food technologist to another. My first food technologist was so good. She was
pirated
already
abroad.
she was pirated abroad. She got a grant in Italy. So fortunately and unfortunately, and then I
Uh,
met this group. Uh, they're they're two women experienced. One was from Nestle and one was from San Miguel. So
uh,
it kind of helped me in terms of what the technology requires. Kasi when I started all these things, the passion was there, but zero, totally
Knowledge
zero knowledge. I had no
from
idea on how to manufacture. I may have an idea on how to market, but in terms of manufacturing,
zero.
nothing.
so ano ba kayo before? What's your profession before this? All
We
that?
were, we
Uh,
were,
we were both bankers. I mean, used to be with
Citi-
Citibank. I used to be
Bankers.
yeah, we were bankers,
we went to Asian Institute of
but then
Management.
after that we went to Asian Institute of Management, which
we
by
met,
the way,
we met your brother,
your brother
there, JL. Yeah.
JL,
Ah,
He's
okay.
a year ahead of us. Yeah.
and then when we after banking, I went on my own. I had another business which is commercial photography.
Yeah. Until now, we have an advertising photography
So
studio.
that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But then parang I was like thinking 5 years ago back, baka my business photography, parang feeling ko I might hit a ceiling at some point. So I was already mulling over putting up another business aside from my photography. So I thought of something closer to what I do. I'm really more of a food
Yeah, he does a
photographer.
lot of food.
I do a lot of the major food photography companies in the country.
Kaya
I
pala
want
ang ganda
something
ng ano
food
mo eh.
related. That's why
Yeah.
I wanted, and then I wanted something close to my heart.
Because he really loves to cook.
So I thought of why not calamansi, and why not a healthier, true version of calamansi. That was how everything started. So
Okay. Now, let's go to the CocoMansi. Actually, ito, akala ko may soy
Yeah.
to at the start eh. And maybe, can you tell us the story of that
Yeah.
CocoMansi?
the story is when I had discussions with this one with some of my friends, consolidator friends, they said, magmumukhang kawawa your product if it's alone. So if it's alone, it's best to have a variant.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, I totally agree. Sige. At that time, I think I was already a bit comfortable with calamansi. So I think, the first instance I was thinking is soy sauce. But I wanted sana freshly brewed soy sauce, na all natural, which is also what the Japanese does. And when I was studying the Japanese, there's what you call the ponzu. Meaning that's the soy
With yuzu.
soy brand,
Yeah.
with yuzu, that's the zoo, so ponzu. So I go, okay, I'll do something like that. And then a friend, I said, where can I find a healthy source of raw mats for soy sauce? There were a few names that were given, but then something was suggested, which is much more interesting. So they suggested cocoa aminos, and I go, and this was like a few years back.
Yeah.
I have never even heard of cocoa aminos.
Yeah.
Sadly, no. But apparently, when my friend mentioned it, he said I went googling about it. It had a lot of benefits.
Health benefits.
So I started scouting for the CocoMansi here, and apparently abroad it's all known. The Paleo people, the Keto people, all use CocoMansi. So when I found several products here of CocoMansi, I tried all of them. I practically tried all of them. But fortunately, we found one supplier who's very good, and he's a coconut sugar maker, and he also has CocoMansi, which is another product that he has, which is connected because of coconut sugar. So coconut aminos, for some of you, it comes from the nectar or the sap of the coconut tree. So that's when it's about to bud pa lang, and the farmers would bundle it, and they scrape the top, and then every day they would collect the sap, and then from there it goes through a process, and then they cook it, and the natural color comes out as
Like
brown.
that, yeah.
So somebody suggested try CocoMinos, and which I did. I found this person, and we had a meeting, and he was surprised. I brought the calamansi with me right there and there in front of him. I poured his CocoMinos, and I poured my calamansi, and I just blended it together at some portions. I myself was surprised. I didn't know how the no. And when I made him try it, he was also surprised. So we were both surprised. We were like, there was like the eureka moment there. So wow, this is something great. And upon research, I don't think anybody has ever done it.
Yeah. None.
So right then and then we decided we're gonna go for this. We're gonna try it. And then I kept experimenting with everything.
Yes.
From making adobo, bistek Tagalog. I added it with my sushi, sashimi.
You really look for it na after a while.
So ganun ang nangyari. We started experimenting with it. And then once I found the right blend, I go back to my food technologist. This is what I want. This is how I want it. When we found the right blend, after so long, we tried to give it to friends to try. Oh, I have this product. Why don't you try it? It's safe, by the way. It's low glycemic for some of you. It doesn't cause bloating, which some of the soy sauce does. No non-GMO. It's gluten-free. No MSG. So when they were trying it, they were also surprised. What is it? They've never tried CocoMinos in their lives, and I had to educate them. But then they started asking for it more and more.
Yeah, they kept looking
so
for
I was like, okay, maybe it's something that we have to think of. But I was already thinking ahead. I had to be careful with copycats. So we had it trademarked. It's under World IPO also. So just to be careful, even the name is trademarked. So everything was we had to protect ourselves already. So I feel there was a potential there. So even during my trade fairs internationally abroad, we were already trying to show it to everyone, and they were also surprised with the results. So that's the story. So we had because of we wanted na hindi kawawa, we just wanted to. We actually ended up with a very good.
Kailangan niya ng brother.
That was the only intention. But we ended up with something unique. So
question. So what's the I think the first time I tried it kasi I thought nga it was soy mansi, diba? Toyo mansi. And then the sweet parang tamis. So parang off yung expectation from the sweetness. My question is the sweetness flavor profile intentional also na because Filipinos love sweet?
It's a natural byproduct of the. We don't put any sugar. It's a natural natural occurrence during the cooking process. Because this is one of the products that is actually used for coconut sugar. But when we had all the discussions on the NutriFacts, it has low sugar, it's low glycemic, it's all natural. Rest assured, it's actually very safe. So and healthy. And then as far as application is concerned, wala namang. It's a totally different than soy sauce. It actually feels familiar, the taste, pero it doesn't really set you off on a different taste note. It feels familiar. Kaya parang it's easier for us to understand the taste. Parang something
Pinoy pa rin.
It has a familiar taste to it. So it's easier. No. That's easier to use. But no sugar. Just do no sugar added.
No sugar. Anyway, Kati Mapa said, fascinating story. It's actually a really fascinating story, and and that's why I have a lot of questions. No, my question is also just a follow up to that. Kasi this is really an innovation, yung CocoMansi. I think this is the first time I tried it, and it's actually addicting and it's quite familiar. Pero in Filipino culture, it's Toyo Mansi, di ba? My question is, would you still have a variant na Toyo Mansi? Because Toyo, in the Japanese culture, di ba, they were able to really make it healthier in a sense and has that salty profile. Is that part of your direction, or you're
It's still
really
on the
just
table.
waiting?
It's still on the table. We're still ano.
Putting it
Kaya
out.
lang I feel that on a marketing perspective, because it's coconut, it's coconut. I like that we're pushing something more familiar, not just even to Filipinos but to foreigners as well. I mean, of course, soy sauce naman it's familiar, but coconut kasi has a more healthier connotation and it's easier to relate to. So parang in terms of, I think there's a branding angle to it also. We wanted with Saint C, coconut and calamansi. It kind of pushes the brand more.
But we're thinking of other products. Huh?
We still have other products in
now.
mind. That
With
it's
coconut.
still on the, well, actually it's ready. We're close to launching it. Pero for now, we feel like we'd like to push coconut. It's something that maybe the Philippines kasi being known for coconut oil, of course the copra industry is there. It's something to help also a lot of the farmers. Not that we're not helping the farmers for soy, but I feel like there's something more that we can do for the coconut industry, and hopefully CocoMansi can do that for them.
Okay, next. You have a third product. I'm not a fan of the third product, to be honest. But maybe you can talk more about that cocoa vinegar. Kasi
Yes, yes.
the only reason is, syempre, sometimes when you want vinegar, you want it with a lot of spices, with
Also what I
historically. So maybe, can you tell us the story lang of the cocoa vinegar also and why people
Okay,
love it?
so here naman is the third one. So again, I go back to the lonely factor. Kasi parang when I did the two, I felt parang it still lacks up another third one eh. Parang, alam mo yun, parang feeling ko kailangan ng third wheel eh. So why not something again, but I said it has to be complementing.
You can
So,
mix.
mixable. So I go, okay, vinegar, okay. At first, I go, I myself is a fan of spicy vinegar. Okay, so here's the story. The thing is, not all spicy vinegars that we get are the same. I know a lot of you have stash of at least 3 spicy vinegars in because you can never get the right one, right? Diba?
Of
So I
course.
said, why not have a base, a clean one, pure, unadulterated, organic, certified base coconut vinegar, wherein you yourself can alter it in your own house.
You can mix.
So it's you now with this one you can now mix it with
your other
spice, your sile, your red chili, pepper, chili flakes, vinegar.
It's a base flavor. Okay.
Yes, okay. And here's the thing. This one is also great with honey. So it could be another base for vinaigrette. Diba? So what we're going to do we want you to be a bit more creative with what the base that it's practically all of this is like a canvas. It's a blank canvas. And you can be creative with it. So you can use it for your marinades, you can use it for your even your chicharon, and then you can use it for your salads, diba? So now you can do whatever you want. Unlike if you already have a spicy version, wala na. You can't move, right? That's it. That's pretty much it. But if you have a product where it could be your base, you can pretty much do anything with it, anytime, all the time, whenever you want. You can change it. If you don't feel the spiciness is enough, then try another version, use this again, then maybe you can find your. That's the story behind the pure coconut vinegar.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
again, it could be another type of vinegar.
Later
Of course,
on,
but we wanted coconut because, again, letter C.
Okay.
That was the whole point. So.
May fourth product idea ako sa inyo.
All right.
Kasi right now, during COVID, of course, you drink a lot of Laurin and then you drink a lot of vitamin C. Is there a way to merge those para madali lang inumin yung Lorin.
I'm ahead of you already, Anton. There's something I'm literally cooking up. There's something I'm cooking up. It would be a nice version. Very healthy. I believe in that. I believe in the virgin coconut oil.
Yeah.
I believe in.
Watch out.
Oh,
for it.
you have to wait for that. Wait for
Oh,
that.
yes.
There's something
Excited
coming up.
ako dyan. I think yon panalo talaga yon. So,
Hindi lang it's also, it could be used for cooking as well. It's not just for straight ingestion.
parang all healthy na, di ba? Instead of, kumbaga, olive oil in the Europeans, ito yung version na.
We really want to promote healthy. In fact, we get a lot of comments. It's good that you're coming out with healthy products. It's about time people should consider that. I mean, yun na naman the Filipino food already, diba? Parang it's all fatty and everything. So, hoping we could complement it with a bit of healthy condiments. It takes out a bit of the guilt. So, it balances things out. Diba? So, it's not naman of our product.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. Siguro, let's shift gears lang to what happened during the, I know matagal yung product, kasi I'm really curious, no? But what happened during this pandemic? Maybe can you share us, did the habit increased in terms of consumption of sauces, or ano nangyari, or was it just flat, and or did you guys get affected?
The intention in the beginning was for us to really go international. That was, in fact, parang buti na lang I didn't know much about it. I had zero knowledge about exporting. I've set the bar for myself so high that I wanted international to happen. So everything we geared for was for international in terms of production, manufacturing, certification.
It's even halal. This is halal and kosher.
Labels. We had to get certification from Halal Group and kosher. And then we that was the original plan. But when we were already gearing up for that, then lately when the pandemic came in, all discussions with our partners or possible distributors abroad practically stopped. It stopped. Yeah. So I realized, parang what do we do with all these raw materials that we have? We have all these inventory, thousands of bottles that we bought. So I thought kasi at first I was underestimating the local market, kasi parang it's easier to buy calamansi lang. You go to the supermarket, you can buy a bag. Baka naman they won't buy our product because it's just there. But that was my mistake. I kind of underestimated the local market. But then out of necessity, because it was pandemic, we were forced to sell.
Yeah.
So, March pa lang, when there was talk about lockdown, we were actually joining Viber groups, local Viber groups. So by March, we were in Facebook. We were actually there selling our products to houses. We were going door to door. And then by second or third week of March, when the lockdown was already implemented, ang lakas ng loob namin, we were in Alabang, we were still selling our products. We were selling our calamansi products. And then when the government announced only food manufacturing allowed, all the essential companies are allowed to go around, as long as you have papers to prove, which I have. I have all the papers. So March, April, May, we were actually delivering. And surprisingly enough, and calamansi being a good product.
Yeah. The response was just overwhelming. Really. eBay got us. eBay. So we can't believe our products are being sold now in the States through eBay. It's really hard to get in there, and it's a very grueling process. Just submitting all the paperwork required. But we were surprised. They listed us, and now we ship to Hawaii and to Virginia.
So from something local, within a span of a few months, from us just doing all the deliveries, and then jumping to 4 online stores, I would call them boutique because they were geared towards more healthy products. Yeah. And then we just tried our luck to applying for something in the US, and eBay got us. And then now we're everywhere. We're shipping. We have two other the known two online store. I don't know if I could mention the two online competing companies. We're also there.
Mention it naman, no?
Shopee and Lazada,
Yeah.
we're also
Do
active.
you run the store? You run the store? Kayo mismo? You are the
No,
ones who
no,
are running
no,
the
no,
store.
no. We have online partner stores. All most of them who are selling
Healthy,
healthy, locally
We have
produced
more than
products.
5 no partners who sell.
We have 5 online stores, local stores,
But
and then of course the eBay.
yeah, and we get so
Okay.
many requests, no? All
So
over the world.
back to your question,
Yeah.
yes, the in a way because it's health, calamansi kasi would boost your immune system. It's a natural.
It really does. It really
So
does.
parang I think with what's happening right now with COVID and everything, you have to keep your body healthy and promote. It wasn't so hard for us to promote calamansi, So parang it just naturally picked up as we were going along. In fact, I think the higher the numbers were of the reports of the government in terms of cases, the volume also started moving up for us as well. So I think we
Ah,
were fortunate enough to have a kind of product which I feel is essential at least for an everyday drink or condiment or dipping sauce. Now it will make your body healthy. So I think we
oo.
were fortunate in that way. So that
Galing, galing.
in the pandemic.
Ah, and so what are your plans for the rest of the berry season or moving forward? Or what are you hopeful for in the coming months?
Well, there's still a lot of interest since we've been very active, especially in our social media accounts.
We get so many requests.
We now get a lot of requests from all over the world.
from Greece,
From Asia pa lang, Singapore, Thailand,
Dubai,
Dubai, Australia, New
Maybe
Zealand, Japan,
Canada.
Canada,
all wanting.
Switzerland,
Even Switzerland.
Italy
Even chefs, from other parts of the world.
are all asking about it. Some are already familiar with the product, some are curious. But I think we already are actually getting ready for that. So we're preparing for possible shipments on a smaller scale. We just wanted to slowly move out, try to get a feel of the market wherever globally, and then hoping. I think we should try to at least scale things up also in terms of production, in terms of distributorship. We have to find the right partners. I think the partners are there. We just have to reconnect again with them after the pandemic. So moving forward, that's the plan. But locally, things are
Doing really well.
really well. I'd like to get things going here as well. So, we'd like to promote healthy living, healthy food, healthy condiments. So yeah. Kasi parang for me, why would the foreigners or people from abroad buy your products if locally they're not even buying your products? So parang
Exactly.
the locals will probably be the ones passing on the information to their friends, relatives abroad. Oh, that's a great product. You should try it. If it's available there now, that's a good product. So we wanted everything literally organic to start from ground up. Organically, it markets itself. It goes by itself. Market will eventually find us and hopefully starts buying our product.
Okay. Alan and Irene, maybe we'll shift the discussion. I know you guys have a world-class product, no? Pero a lot of people are starting today because of the pandemic, no? A lot of food entrepreneurs are starting today. Maybe what's your advice? How I know it's a long process kasi and a lot of people get frustrated then minsan gusto nila mabilisan, di ba? Any advice on how to find that right product for them? And then the second question related to that is how do you work together as husband and wife? Kasi it could be na mas lalo kayo mag-away or how can you work together on creating a new idea?
First of all, when you come up with the product, just like my photography when I started, it has to be something closer to your heart.
Something you have a passion for.
Parang it's not a type of thing that you drag yourself every morning and do it. Kasi everything will be routinary after some time. So it has to start from something that you're passionate passionate with. So, and I've seen that with my photography, and that's already like 15 years for us. I still don't get bored or anything about it. I still like it. I still love photography. But food is another thing. I mean, who doesn't eat? But the thing is, I like concocting. That's the thing about me. I like concocting. I like inventing something different. So that it starts from there. You have to
And then you have to learn everything you can about the product,
You
about
have
the
to,
process.
you-
You have to
you-
educate yourself so that what you come up with will be really perfect by the time you launch it.
you
I
have to-
admit when Anton was saying about husband and wife, I'm the impatient one. I was always telling him, why is it taking forever? Because it took almost 4 years, 5 years. I was like, wala na, hindi na yan malalaunch. Because I always wanted to launch it already because I knew they were good products. But Alan was like, no, the label has to be perfect. The
No.
bottle has to be perfect. The capping, it's a lot of arguing, to be honest.
You'd be surprised how much effort I took for
Yeah.
every inch of that bottle, for
Mm.
every millimeter of content
Yeah.
that's inside of it. I really, really, really took time. So I think for anything that my advice for anything that you do, take time to study them. Take just like any business also, take time to study the viability,
Mm.
take time to study the market, be patient.
Yeah, be very patient.
Kulang ang pasensya biscuits dito. Bumili talaga kayo ng marami. And you have to have faith in what you do.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, you have to have faith. Kasi once you lost the spirit and you will lose the passion as well. Eh. So you're the only one pushing yourself. There's nobody else. In most cases, there will be naysayers. That won't work. That's not good
we've had a lot of
It's fine.
naysayers.
Take them in. Take them in
Yeah.
as a constructive criticism, if you like. But don't be disheartened. Just keep moving on. Push forward. Stick to your plan.
Mistake,
If you make a mistake, if you feel but it's also
Adjust.
that's why it's good to try. Let people try it. Get there.
Yeah.
Don't be naman too arrogant. No, it's
Yeah.
mine. I don't believe in what you do. Listen to them also. It's nice to be grounded. Listen to what others would have to say about it, and absorb those comments, and then from there restudy, go back, and come up maybe with a better product, improve it, innovate it, and then you do the other parts of the job. You start with in my case, I'm the back end. I'm more in charge of the operation. I like the technical stuff. Irene here, she's my social media person. She keeps track of what's happening around. So
because I enjoy that. That I really enjoy.
It's good to divide things. I cannot, although I keep my my social media, but it's not all. She keeps what's happening around. She tries to scout what's happening around. So that helps me
I
also.
base with Anton.
So it helps. So try to see how you could divide also the work. Honestly, you cannot do things alone. You have to be humble enough to ask for help.
Yes.
Because
consult with those, no? We
consult
asked
with
our chef
people,
friends.
consult with-
Yeah.
and not just one. It could be from 5. It could be to 10. As much ground as you can cover them. So don't be disheartened. Just keep pushing forward. Believe in it, and the buyers will believe in it as well. Diba? So you're the natural seller for it. Eh. If they see your passion for it, they will also see the work that you put into that product, and they will naturally just
gravitate towards it.
gravitate and
spread the
and
word.
spread the word. So hopefully
Okay.
that's good for everyone.
I have a few more questions. We'll pull up a comment lang. This is from one of the best fruit jams in Manila or in
Yes.
or
We like
the
it.
fruit garden. The
I like
fruit
it.
garden. Very nice story. Thanks, Pierre, for watching.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, next question. Two questions, no? Para mabilis tayo. We don't have time. Madami kong questions sa inyo kasi parang ngayon lang kayo nag-market sa Manila and then it's very parang
Ngayon lang.
very interested. Parang na-surprise ako. Ang ganda. Sarap ba ng product na to? Ba't ngayon lang to? Ngayon lang namin natikman. Question. two things, no? First is we don't have time. Most of the food entrepreneurs starting now don't have time. Maybe what are the two things they need to focus on lang just to create their product? And then the next question is, maybe can you mention your ninong and ninang? I know there's a lot of in food entrepreneur business, may mga ninong ka dyan, or those people who help you start up your business. Maybe you can mention them also.
I would say talaga it started with Secretary Berna Romulo Fuya. She was nice enough to include me in her farm tours, and that opened up my eyes to the plight of our farmers. And sadly they were lining up to me and asking for help. So parang it became an advocacy na. Parang not just come up with a business, but it's a business to help. I think that's the more important part. So, well, of course, my mom started the opening up. She worked in the government, and I saw her. She's an agriculturist, so it's also natural for me to be associated with something about farming.
What's her name?
Estrella Tuason.
And she kept, inculcating to help, no?
To help others, and so parang it's good to be able to apply what you learn from these people, and then lately now I think I would say Chef JP Anglo has been helping us immensely.
Help. Yeah, and spreading the word.
Aside from the fact that he's an advocate of good Filipino food, the combination of our product and his talent is immense, and even I'm surprised. I mean, aside from him, he's also surprised.
After tasting it once, he liked really loved it, and so selling it now in Sarsa Kitchen also.
It's also been a big help to us. So I'm hoping in the future we can meet more of these people in the industry, be able to help each other. That's the only way naman eh. We have to help each other and help promote Filipino products, not just locally, but hopefully internationally in the future. I would say those are the people so far.
And he was asking the two things.
Okay, yung first question, hacking the production development. Kasi most people don't have time eh. Maybe because of the pandemic. Any tips ba na, is there a way to hack this? Creating their first product?
Just like anything, just like any, Steve Jobs started in their garage, or all these titans in the industry, they all started small. We started literally in the kitchen. And if you have a good idea, start there, spend some time, literally, cooking, checking. Don't expect right away to become at this level. Of course, keep that dream, but start small. So that's how we started. Small lang talaga. And then slowly, when we found our right partners, then after some time trying to get to know them, if they're actually the right partners, that's how now we more or less, he introduced me, or maybe you can do this sort of process. You try this other process also if it doesn't work. And then from there, well, I'm still that level. Relatively, I'm still a newbie. But in my mind, my vision is parang on the level of the Japanese makers of yuzu, or the Italian makers of limoncello. Yung mga ganun na, the machines. So parang, if you have that imagination, scale it down on a lower level, that whatever you can afford right now, or whatever help that you can ask from friends, na you can put up together, collaborate. Collaboration is also a good option for them. Hacking and it starts from there, but don't stop there. Parang you have to move it forward after some time. Kasi or else you're just gonna be stuck there. You have an idea, like we learned in AIM, ideas are cheap, but it takes another person to actually make it happen, move it forward, diba? So, dami namang may idea. I can do, maybe you should do this, you should do that, or something like that. But then to push it forward and make it happen, that's another story. So, after you've found your groove, the product that you like, or even a service that you have in mind, then try to make it happen. Friends, start with relatives, see how it goes, and then the confidence will build.
Yeah.
You will also feel that, oh, you're on the right track.
Yeah,
Then you're onto something, and then naturally, you have to find ways to make things efficient. Na. So how's your process?
Yeah, streamline
your process, even in a smaller scale. Safety. By the way, in all of what you do, safety is always a prime concern. So the way you process things has to be food safe. Uh, and then from there, try to study the market. Try to study your price points. Try to study how you're about to distribute your products or your services, logistics required, diba? Mm-hmm. And then maybe after that, after sales, try to see how the market reacts to it. What do they do with your product, or how is your service? And then you go back again. The same cycle goes. Okay, so they like this one, they like that one, they didn't like this, they didn't like that. So
you adjust.
Then you adjust. Okay, more than anything, adapt. Adapt. So in our case, that's what happened.
Yeah.
With all the pandemic, we never thought, to be honest with you, I've never thought of online selling prior to all of this. But you just have to make tiyaga. You have to make tiyaga with trying to onboard. I never even knew what onboarding was. I never all all these new buzzwords, hyper local community. For me, it shouldn't even be, my buzzword is clustered community. It's a clustered community. It starts there. Start from that clustered community. Try to see if they will like your service or your product. And then from there, build on that. Find information from that. And then from there, you can harness that information and then try to see how you can push forward. So yeah, that's hopefully that helps. Sa Anton.
Sorry. Thank you for the time for sharing your story with us this morning.
Hello. So cute.
My son is also there having
studying.
Why are you not studying?
He's eating lunch.
Finish na. Finish na siya. So, maybe where can people order this online? We'll show. So can they order this in your Instagram? So this is your Instagram, di ba?
Yes, you can message us there.
You can start from there, or if you have your own Suki online stores.
Yeah, we are also.
That's also in our IG stores. We also support all these online stores para naman everyone.
Same pricing lang ba? Same pricing.
Yes, we try to stick to 300 per bottle. Mm-hmm. People ask, why is it expensive? But then, sabi ko, try nyo muna, and then you tell me if it's expensive or not. We put out there good quality, good packaging. We put our heart in there. So I hope people naman understand. Of course, we needed to make a bit of profit para we can do more later on. So hopefully, when we scale up, everything will go down. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited about your fourth product.
Yeah. Working on it. And
fourth and fifth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soon.
Any final thoughts na lang to people watching in the stream or be watching?
Well, me personally, I just want to thank everyone who has been supporting our Saint C brand from the beginning. We're really overwhelmed by all your fantastic feedback that we get on Facebook, on Instagram. Thanks so much for supporting local, and we hope to give it back also. Rest assured that all the purchases you make help improve the state of our agricultural economy, and also helps improve the livelihood of our Filipino farmers.
Me naman, I'm just glad this has happened. When 5 years ago, it was just an idea.
Yeah,
It
it's
has been
surreal.
it has been a long journey, long journey for us. But it doesn't change the fact that if you put your hard work, your heart into something that you like, you actually can make it happen. So don't despair. Don't despair.
Follow your dream.
Whatever situation you are in, don't think about it. Try to isolate. It's like putting a bubble inside. You're inside this bubble. All the negativities around, take it out of your system. It's not gonna help. Try to keep a very sound mind para you can push forward your dreams later on. It's not impossible. You can do it. If you want to, you can do it.
All right. With that, thank you so much.
Thank
We're
you
so
so
Alright.
addicted to it
much.
now.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Maraming salamat.
Maraming
And
salamat sa inyong lahat.
and I do hope a lot of you out there will be inspired by the story. We can do this. We can have world-class products here in Manila, in the Philippines, made by Filipinos, supporting our agriculture industry. Thank you, Alan and
Thank
Irene.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Anton. Thanks so much.
Thank you for everyone who helped.
Thank you.
And when you're ready with the fourth, fifth product, let's talk
You will,
about it.
Be the first.
you will taste it before it comes out.
Okay.
You'll get
Thank
it.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Thank
watching.
you.
Thanks.